searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Short dark hair, but those eyes so bright.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another week of shenanigans. Kiki and I are back on the West Coast. How we doing?
I'm pretty good. Trying to just recover from traveling, partying, all of that.
What was the rest of your New York trip like? What did you do?
It was actually the perfect New York. It was the first time I actually started looking at real estate again and being like, should I move back? I was like, it was the perfect trip. But then, you're like, no, it was the perfect trip because it was exactly that.
Right.
Like, this wouldn't be my life again if I moved back.
No.
But I stayed longer. I went to that Planet Hollywood party that Alec and Hilaria, and so it was just fun.
Nice.
It was so good.
It's always good to have just that time away in the city, but you're like, okay, it's enough. Let me go back to the sunshine.
I really do want to be bi-coastal. I know people say it, but I'm really going to find a way to achieve this.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of bi-coastal, Ariana and Dan have been back and forth. I just saw that she was on the iHeart carpet and they had asked her oh, so do you think he's the one? And I swear, when they first started dating, I saw that glow in her eyes. But just seeing her on the carpet and they're like, so are you thinking about, next steps and the wedding, the dress, the kids, or whatever they said? And the look in her eyes, she was just it was a not no.
Yeah.
I forget what she said exactly, but it was so cute to see.
I think she said just which I think
all the things
initially,
or something like that. Yeah.
I was initially surprised, but then I was like, I'm not really, because what I've learned about people who have found their love or gotten married, it's usually something really traumatic has happened that has led them to something else happening. So I'm it kind of makes sense that she found the person after all of Scandal.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the crazy thing about the butterfly effect, if one thing didn't happen to lead you to all of these different things, it's so crazy. Because she was going to that wedding with Sandoval. But then all of this happens and now, boom, she met the love of her life. Brock and I, it was a crazy by chance that we met at this random after party at 2:30 in the morning down in San Diego. I wasn't living there. It's just one thing, we decided to go to the festival and then we got a couple extra tickets and one thing led to another.
Yeah.
And here we are.
I love it.
It's crazy. But it looked like you had a fun St. Patrick's Day.
I love St. Patrick's Day. It's Halloween, but no costumes.
Right.
You do have to wear green. It was really fun. The most fun I had was I've always wanted to ride those city scooters, that you see, you can the Lime or whatever. And I never have. And I finally, I guess I had the Guinness courage. I was and also I was tired of meandering around the streets of downtown. I was I want to get on one of these scooters. So I was I did it. And first of all, I was awesome on it. I was really good. I was
so
flying down the street. I was this is so fun. I'm hopping up on sidewalks. And I was because I don't know if because I sometimes I don't do things because of my size, right? I was I don't want to get on it because I'm am I too fat? Am I going to fall off and all of that stuff? But then I was fuck it. I'm just going to do things now. And so now you might just see me scooting around LA.
Hell yeah. No, Brock's the same way. Brock's a big guy. And so with certain things, even the porch swing he just built us, all three of us were sitting on it the other day. And I'm is this okay? Is the weight capacity on this?
I saw him build that. That was so that's awesome.
When we got home super late last night from Puerto Rico, we walked up and we had the porch light on and the swing. And I was look at this. Coming home, it just feels more of a home. Each little thing that we do to the house.
How does he know how to do these things? Because he had to rip out a whole, wasn't it a planter box that was in the.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was in the way. When these people built this house, I don't know what they were thinking with certain aspects of it. There was a giant cement planter thing that was also off-centered from where the house was. It was kind of in the yard, but then it was kind of on the porch and also completely blocking the side gate. And I'm there's also on the side of the house a massive planter. So why did you think you needed another one in the front?
Yeah.
It had some plants growing in it that, to be honest, looked like marijuana plants.
Okay. Were they?
On brand.
Okay.
They were not,
Okay.
but that was the only cool part of it. I was it kind of looks like we're growing some weed leaves over here, but I'm we've got to get rid of it. We've been in the house for a year and Brock's now realizing oh shit, it's been a year and I have not finished all of the little things that we wanted to do. He wants his chickens. You want chickens on the side of the house, honey? You got to check off every single thing on the list before we can consider chickens.
But was he ever a contractor? I just don't understand how he knows to like go to Home Depot and like buy the things to make the
YouTube. Literally,
Really?
he watches videos on YouTube. So back in Australia, he was a tradie or whatever. Like he did a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of contracting, a little bit of building, like whatever. He did all of the things.
Yeah.
But he's just taught himself.
That's wild.
Yeah. He watches a video on YouTube and he's like, okay, that's what I have to do.
Is he possibly on the spectrum? I just wonder like if he has like advanced learning like Rain Man
I mean,
level.
he's got gnarly ADD.
Okay.
And he's also dyslexic, but other than that.
Because I know I could never watch a YouTube and like teach myself to do something immediately.
No, he just
Interesting.
zones in. It's
I love
wild.
it.
I'm like, I could never. Just like him zoning in for this fucking half Ironman he just did
He did it. Wait, he just did that?
in Puerto Rico. That's where we went.
Why you were in Puerto.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Has he been training for this, or he just decided to do it?
So he's been training for like 6 months. It's called an Ironman 70.3. It's like a half Ironman.
Okay.
It was, I don't know, about a 1.5 mile swim. Then you transition. You have to like jog to get to your bike. Transition to that. 56 miles on a bike.
Oh my God.
Then you still have to run a little over 13 miles.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And he did it in 6 hours and 47 minutes.
Oh, wow. How many
Yeah.
people were participating?
720, I believe.
And he came in what number in that?
It was really cool because on Sunday, I had the whole group we were in Puerto Rico with for the Ironman. We have them all on this tracker.
Okay.
It's the same day as the LA Marathon, which Justice, my brother-in-law,
Okay.
and my friend Kaylee were doing. So I'm simultaneously tracking both of them, and Justice and Brock finished almost at the exact same time.
wow.
It was crazy. So you can see all of the people who I was following, what time they finished, like where they're at on the track.
Amazing.
There was one point where I was like, oh my God, they're passing each other. Like
Yeah.
one's ahead and one's because it's like a loop and whatnot. But it was really cool that you could follow them along. And then I also had the LA Marathon on mine. So I was tracking everyone. It was, Scheana with Find My Friends.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
whole other level.
I love that. Well, you'll never find me in that because I never say never. I will never do a marathon. Like that just seems like
Hell no.
torture. And an Ironman, hell no.
No, Justice's foot, he thinks he has a fracture or something in it from the marathon.
I mean, yeah, because running that long, it's just not natural. Like
No.
I had a toenail fall off the other day and I was like, for no reason.
Oh, I hate
was like,
that.
I was not
I
even
hate
running.
when that
And I'm like-
happens. Literally. Speaking of locations, though, here's one of the reasons why it's great when you have people on, I guess it's just Find My now, not Find My Friends. But last week when I was in New York, my friend Devin messaged me and he shows me my location. He's like, what the hell? You're here and didn't tell me? And I'm like, dude, literally 25 hours came in for SNL with my sister. I don't have time to see anyone. I didn't get back to the hotel until like 7 a.m. Then I saw you a few hours later. And so my mom had saw his status on Instagram, like his note updated to Puerto Rico, but then he saw my location. We were 5 minutes apart from each other. He's there on a bachelor party. All of our gay friends from New York, Miami, they're all there. So my friend Elaine and I end up at this bachelor party in Puerto Rico.
I love it.
Which we would have never known had my mom not seen his status, he not saw my location. And I'm like, this is why it's great.
It is great. I mean, I do love that aspect. I still hate sharing where I am with people, but I do love that.
So on my flight there, 'cause Brock went a couple days early, I decided I never spend money on the flights. Whenever I go out for jobs and they fly me Mint, Delta One, I just enjoy it. But for myself, especially if me, Brock, and Summer all flying, we're going to fly coach. We take the whole row. But I'm flying by myself, and Mint, it wasn't crazy, and I have a lot of miles, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm flying by myself. I'm going to treat myself. I deserve it. I work hard.
Love it.
So I'm in Mint next to this woman, and all of a sudden, I can tell. So her partner or friend or whoever is in the aisle next to her, and she is asking me, are you a nervous flyer? And I was like, no, I'm good. And she's like, oh, I'm a nervous flyer. And I'm like, great. Then she proceeds to tell me about her friend who had just landed in Denver the day before and the plane caught on fire.
She was on that plane that caught on fire?
Her friend.
Her friend was?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But I'm like, I thankfully had not heard that news story yet.
Okay.
But also, why are you telling me this right before we're about to take off?
Well, it's kind of like, well, if it just happened, it can't possibly happen again.
Right?
So, But did she tell you what happened? Because I'm so curious, like, did the plane, like, what happened? Like, I saw people on the wing, like.
Yeah, I don't know. She just said it caught on
Oh, my
fire. And I was
God.
like, that's enough information for me.
Okay.
And she was like, I'm just going to go to sleep. And she slept the whole flight and she was
really?
fine. But then you can't fly direct to Puerto Rico, or at least not on JetBlue or Delta. So I had to change planes in Fort Lauderdale because of the little bit of rain that we had in LA, I'm assuming is why. My flight to Fort Lauderdale is delayed.
Oh, no.
So I've got 8 minutes to make my connecting flight. And I'm like, you guys have to alert them, right? That there's people on this other JetBlue flight. And it ended up being okay. I got to my gate and ended up being the first person to board. It was like right when I walked up, they're like, Mosaic. I was like, oh my God.
I hate that feeling. Like that happened to me when I was in Atlanta. In Atlanta, you have to get on a shuttle to get to your net. And I was like, I think I had like 13 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh God, I was like stressing it. I hate that feeling. I'm one of those people that I like to be like very early and sit down, calm, not sweating.
No, it happened again last night on the way back. It was delayed an hour.
Oh my
so
God.
we were late. Like they had already started boarding, but the doors weren't closed yet. So we still made it on, but it was just like
the other airport that's terrible, I realized, Minneapolis. I had to do a layover in Minneapolis. That's
I've done that
also
before.
A terrible layover. Like they do not make them close, and it is like a 15-minute walk to like the other. It is insane.
Yeah, I think I've done like, I don't know if it was Boston or Detroit or one. They have like the trains inside the airport. I think it was Boston, and I almost missed my flight to Iceland.
Yeah.
I hate connecting flights.
No, I do too.
I really do. But I've got to give it to my husband. He didn't even like full hardcore train every single day, hours and hours and hours. And he completed this in under his goal time. He just wanted to get it in under 7 minutes. Or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
God, 7 minutes. 7 hours. 7. It just rolls off the tongue so easily. But yeah, he did it in under 7 hours.
Oh my God. That's so cool though.
And it was just so impressive watching all of them complete this, just talking to everyone after we all came back to our hotel room, popped a bottle of champagne. Everyone did a little speech. One of the girls in his friend group in San Diego, it was her idea. She said before they decide to start trying for a kid next year, they have all of these things they wanted to check off their bucket list.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want to do an Ironman or a half Ironman, whatever. She's like, let's do Puerto Rico. So then her partner gets on board, and then one of his friends, another friend. And so that's how Brock, I didn't even know how this all came about. I thought he just decided it, and for all I knew, it was his idea. But watching this chick, and she beat her partner, I was like,
oh, nice.
So I'm like, I'm following Angelica, then I'm following Sean, and I was like, oh, she just passed him, and then she stayed ahead of him for the rest of the run. I was like, hell yeah, she beat him by like 10 minutes.
I just like the whole idea of being wet, because you swim first, right? Being wet and then getting on a bike.
Yes. You're like, his feet were just like white and wrinkled. I was like, oh, that looks painful.
It just sounds like a lot of chafing and just like.
Absolutely chafed.
Yeah.
He is fully chafed.
Yeah.
It looks painful. Here, the balls are chafed.
Oh my God. You should take care of that.
I was like, yeah, I'll just
need some balm.
But yeah, the trip was so fun. So then after we did the Ironman, we went out to celebrate. We went to Old San Juan. Have you ever been to Puerto Rico?
I love Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was my first time. I had never been.
My Puerto Rico trip was actually it was my breakup trip. I had just broken up. I had just got on this really long relationship, but I already bought the tickets. And that was when you've probably seen my friend Cece, the white girl with the dreads. That was the first time we ever traveled together. And that was when we knew we were the best travel buddies. We had the best time.
I love that. Yeah. No, it was so fun. Just also to leave the resort, like the resort we stayed at, the Caribe Hilton, was amazing because that was kind of the headquarters for the entire race. So everyone was staying there. They had like orientation there, and everything was just right there, very central. So it was so fun because they started the swim, then we met them at the bike transition, then the run transition, and everything was right around our hotel. It was great. But going out in Old San Juan, it was so nice to see a different part of Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. We end up, I swear, so we meet back up with my friend Devin and all of his friends. And he's like, oh, I'm taking you. I don't want to say the name of this place because I guess it's some exclusive something or another. I'll tell you, but not the world.
Yeah, okay.
And so he's like, oh, we're going to go to this place. And I asked my friends and they're like, yeah, that's kind of in the ghetto. I don't know if we should go there. And I was like, I don't know. He has friends and let's try it out. So I understood why they were hesitant. And also my mom on Find My messages me. She goes, are you okay? It looks like you're in a shack. And I was like, I am, but I'm okay. So we walk through Old San Juan, then we go down this alley. I swear it looked like an episode of like CSI, like before things go bad.
Yeah.
Then we go down and they tell us no phones at all when you get down there. So we go down this like chain link stairwell into a basketball court that's painted like pink, purple, and blue. And I'm like, are we at like a high school? Where are we going? Then we go down another like creepy dark alley. There's a bunch of stray cats everywhere. And then we see this rooftop party going on. It was on the top floor of whatever this building was, overlooking the ocean, overlooking a castle, cash bar, everything's under $5. And they had a DJ. It was like the best party, the best way to end our trip. And no one had phones. So we were just all living in the moment, enjoying it. But to get there.
No, it sounds like the setup for like Stefan from SNL, like the hottest place in Puerto Rico, stray cats,
right?
Multicolored basketball court. Like what? No, girl.
No, literally my intrusive thoughts were at an all-time high. I was like, we're getting trafficked.
Yeah.
There's like,
That's the
where it
first
ends.
thing. Yes, yeah.
This is where it ends for us. But it ended up being such a great find.
Love that.
And it was such a good trip. I can't wait to go back. It wasn't long enough.
No, the last time, I mean, the one and only time I went to Puerto Rico, I might be in a rap video.
Oh.
And I definitely hung out with a stripper that night. And there may be a video of that as well. But you'll have to find it.
Love it. Okay. Well, we're going to take a break and go look for that. And then we'll be right back. All right. Are you looking for a partner in wedding planning? Because if so, then look no further. The Knot is here to plan with you. You found your person. Now let the Knot help with everything else. And take it from me, someone who has planned 2 weddings. Having the help, it definitely is what you want. The Knot connects you to the wedding inspo, vendors, venues, planning tools, anything that you need to make your day totally you. And when it comes to your wedding, you've got ideas? Well, the Knot has the connections to make it all happen. Plus, the Knot makes it easy to keep your guests in the loop so you can focus on what really matters, celebrating your love with the people who mean it the most. Isn't that what this day is all about? And this may be the first time you're putting together something this big, this visible, and this meaningful. Well, the Knot is taking the guesswork out of it. Plan anywhere, anytime with the wedding planning app with the most 5-star reviews. Let the Knot connect you to all of the people, places, and tools you need to help bring your wedding to life. And the Knot helps you provide the best guest experience for your family and friends, from collecting their addresses and easy RSVPing to providing seamless registry options, all the things in one place. Get started at theknot.com/audio. That is THEKNOT.com/AUDIO. Again, that's THEKNOT.com/AUDIO. All right, we're back. I haven't found it yet, but I'll keep looking. One thing I did see when I was flying back, though, on Instagram was Gina from Real Housewives of Orange County posted that her ex-husband, Matt, had a heart attack over the weekend, and he's only 40 years old.
Yeah.
And this is what freaks me out. I was saying this, and one of the main reasons I went to Puerto Rico was, what if, I mean, I get it, it's U.S. territory. He's not in some crazy other country, but what if something happens to Brock, and then I didn't realize how many friends he did have coming. You know, I'm not there to help, and my intrusive thoughts took me on an amazing vacation.
Yes, yes.
But it's scary when you hear about these athletes who are in their 30s, early 40s, and having heart attacks and all of these things. And, you know, there's all these conspiracy theories of what is it? Is it a vaccine? Is it clogged arteries?
Energy drinks.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things. But I got to say, yeah, that freaked me out to see that. But I do love to see when exes can come together, especially, you know, when it's like, you're the mother of my children, you're the father of my children. We just saw that recently with Edwin and Teddy, with everything she's going through. So, you know, also don't take health for granted.
Don't take health for granted. But like, it is nice to see, because especially with Gina and Matt, because that was like a domestic violence situation, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you never know how people can recover. And it just goes to show like there can be forgiveness even when really terrible things happen.
Right.
You know, he did pay his dues because I think he lost his job. He did have to like serve. I don't know. He probably had to do community. He probably had to do something.
I'm
right?
sure.
And at the end of the day, she knew she had children with this man and she didn't want her children to think of this man as a monster because of this one-time incident. Right. And so it's nice, you know, she has a good relationship with his girlfriend, which that never really happens, but we actually saw it on the show. And obviously, like now, like sadly, again, tragedy does bring people together. And I'm sure this will make them close for the rest of their lives now because she realizes like this is still the father to her kids.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, 40 years old. I could not imagine that.
No.
I'm about to be 40.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? That's my age.
It's super young, which is why, like, you know, I actually ended up befriending Danielle Bellardo. She's someone who's in the GLP-1 world, like the semaglutides, but she's a heart specialist because she knows like how it's like those medicines are actually beneficial for hearts. And that's really her specialty. So I just love talking to her because, it's like, there's so many other factors that go into like why it could be hereditary. It could be so many, you don't know people's history. So when people start throwing out conspiracies, I'm like, you have no idea what this man's history is, what his family history is. But at the end of the day, like it does make you think twice. The thing that worries me, and I know this sounds so selfish, is like when I see people young, if that happened to me, changing your entire lifestyle overnight, I don't know if I could do it. Like, you know, you might never eat McDonald's again, right? And you don't want to eat McDonald's, but sometimes you're like, I'm hungover. I want a hash brown.
Absolutely.
But like when something like that has happened, you're like, I can't do that anymore. And it's scary.
No, it is. And that's one thing with Brock's diet. I swear, will eat red meat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, all day. And I'm like, is that healthy? I don't know. Like there was one day when my trainer Seth was over and he saw Brock just eating red meat for breakfast. And he was like, wait, how many times a day? Blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, don't get in my head. I already think that. But then Brock is on the other side of it where he says that it's completely healthy and it's good for you if you eat this much red meat. And I'm like,
But I think everyone's DNA is different.
Totally.
So it's like for some people, for him, maybe eating red meat does benefit him. Whereas like for other people, it doesn't work with their makeup.
Yeah. I do wish there was a magic pill that made all of my intrusive thoughts go away because being on sertralines like Zoloft now, I feel like my response to the intrusive thoughts is just like I shake them off a lot easier. And I'm just like, what are the chances of that actually happening? And I don't cry as much, but they're still there.
You know, again, I haven't looked into other benefits of semaglutides, but I know that there's other benefits like that expand. Like people have stopped drinking, you know, because of it, because of like it stops your brain from it's that addictive thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, I'd be interested to see if there was other benefits. I mean, I think people think it's just about being skinny, but I think it's a medicine that does a lot of things.
Yeah. Interesting. What did you think of the Valley trailer?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think the Valley trailer was amazing. I was lucky enough to actually get an advanced screener. I can't talk about it. I know I can't talk about it, but I just this season is going to be really, really, really good.
I know. I mean, I lived some of it.
Yes.
And then I heard about the rest of it. So
oh my gosh.
It's going to be so good.
Do you already know like how many episodes that you're kind of a part of?
Not necessarily, because the first couple weeks of filming, I don't think I'll be in the first few episodes unless some things are maybe a little out of sequence. I was in Orlando accepting my OCD award when it was Janet's birthday. So I missed that. I was in London with Snoop and Dr. Dre for the white party in the beginning. I think that's in the first episode. So I missed that. So there were several things where I'm like, I could have been involved more, but I already had trips booked and jobs and whatnot. So I don't know. I think mid-season will be the most of me. Because that's when I hung out the most. Then obviously they went to Hawaii. I didn't go on that trip. But then I come back at the end. But you just never know. I mean, they could cut everything with me. I'm not really in the trailer. You just see my braid.
I mean, they packed a lot in the first episode. It's
really?
Crazy. I mean, so much. You're just like, okay, let's get it started.
I have so many questions, which we can't talk about because we've got a month.
I know.
How did you get a screener already?
They gave it out. I was really shocked. I was like, oh, they're giving this out early. I love it. I mean, I'm going to watch it. I think I've already watched it twice, so I'll be honest.
Wow.
Take a lot of notes.
Okay. Shit, I have so many questions I can't ask you. Did you see Zach's stupid tweet and Instagram story this past week?
I heard about it. It was something like it was directed towards you, I felt like. You and
Katie and Ariana,
Okay.
I'm assuming, because
Okay.
that's what the headline was.
Okay.
So I wanted to give a little context to this because I DM'd Zach and he didn't open it for many hours, but then he did and just left it on scene. So I'm sure you're going to hear this. So here it is. I did not unfollow James recently because of him posting with the Tate brothers. It was actually coincidental timing. When all of the stuff with him and Allie happened back in December, immediately unfollowed from Summer's account. But also, I know how James is. I know how he is or how he was with his breakup with Raquel and feeling like everyone took Raquel's side and then that just made things harder for Raquel. At the time, Allie was not ready to unfollow him. And so I just followed suit. I didn't want to do anything where we all start unfollowing him. I knew everything that happened the night of his arrest. She told me the whole story. So I'm like, you know what? Just to keep the peace, I will continue following him. He is on mute. I'm not liking his shit. I'm not commenting on his shit. I don't want to see any of it. But recently, she had reached out to me and she was like, okay, I think it's time. I think I need to unfollow him. And I was like, all right, girl. I'm like, if you're doing it, I'm doing it. She's like, oh, but I'm like, I don't want to follow him anymore because the following looks like I'm supporting and I just don't support him anymore. I wish him well. I wish him the best. I hope he's continuing on a sobriety journey. Same as Jax. You know, you can love them from afar and just wish them well. I just don't need you in my inner circle anymore. And I don't need to follow you anymore. So Allie and I unfollowed him.
Okay.
Then I guess it was maybe the next day or maybe even the same day that the Tate brothers stuff came out.
So it looked like you unfollowed because of that.
And then because I'm guessing that's why Ariana and Katie just unfollowed.
Okay.
But also Brittany was still following him.
Okay.
So I don't know if she unfollowed around the same time or Zach was like, I'm going to post this, but I have no idea. Because also I'm like, when did Jasmine unfollow him? I swear she was following him not too recently.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I still follow him, but I mean, I'm a news organization.
Right, that's
I have
different.
to keep up. But like, yeah, no, I think unfollowing him would have become a bigger story. And honestly, I think taking Allie's lead is the smart thing to do. Because if she's following him, I think it's up to her to say, like, I want you to unfollow him now. And then that's when you do it. If it happened at the same time, I mean, it sucks for the timing for you because it does look like it was.
Totally. I'm like, that was a coincidence. And that's what I messaged Zach because he was like, if you think this post is about you, you're probably right. And so I commented and I said, well, if this is about me, that's actually not why I unfollowed him. So I love how people think they know the full story without getting it. Yeah. And then just left me on scene. And I'm like, bitch, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a bitch move. And also because your best friend Brittany was just following him too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and also I just don't think that I think people who are worried about unfollowing and following, I think they have nothing else to do. I don't think about unfollowing people. Yeah. I probably follow people I hate still to this day because I'm not thinking about like, what is their handle? And let me go find them and follow. I don't think about it.
No, but with this, I'm like, I don't follow Jax. I don't follow Sandoval. I don't follow James. I don't follow people who I don't support.
Sandoval?
No.
You haven't felt he redeemed himself after
you
Traitors?
Know, he had followed me when we were at Life is Beautiful right after season 11 finished.
Okay.
Things were kosher, cordial, you know, in group settings. We were with Kyle Chan and Lance Bass at a club. And he took a video of me. They pulled me on stage at the drag bar and I was doing good as gold and shocking, I know. And that night he pulled me aside and he was like, oh, look, I got this video. He's like, I'm going to tag you and I'm following you. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, we just wrapped the season. Like, I'm not on a follow back yet.
Okay.
And then I think he unfollowed me when I went on my rant this past summer when I saw he was suing Ariana.
Okay.
And yeah, but I mean, it's a headline, you know? If I go back and I follow someone, I unfollow someone, it's a headline.
It is.
I'm just, for now, I'm happy following my 800, however many people, I don't even know what I'm at now.
I want to I want to whittle down. I think I follow like 3,200 people and I don't even know who.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are just to like be nosy, but I'm like, I kind of want to whittle it down.
I mean, that's why I stayed at 420 for so many years. And then I realized that was my OCD and I needed to follow some more people. And also I'm like, I'm missing out on connections and staying in touch with people because of a number. So I'm somewhere close to 900 now.
Okay.
But I don't want to hit over 1,000 because that's just too many people. So I'm like, okay, then I can cut some out again. But
because I don't even see, like, I'm like, I follow 3,200 people.
No.
I don't even see people, like, if they pop up, I'm like, wow, let me unfollow you.
I have had friends have a whole ass baby that I missed their whole pregnancy. And then I just see a kid and I'm like, you had a kid? Like, literally one of my friends on the East Coast, I missed her whole pregnancy. And I'm like,
my God.
I follow you. You're not muted. Like this fucking algorithm.
It's terrible.
Like 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. All right. I'm going to take another quick little break and then we'll be back with some more hot topics. Okay. So who doesn't love good things in life? Am I right? Even though, you may enjoy a little luxury, it doesn't mean that you can always afford it. I know, at least for me, that is the case. That is until I discovered Quince. Quince has been my go-to for luxury essentials at very affordable prices. And not just for myself, but also for Summer Moon. We have some of the softest, adorable outfits that we've gotten from Quince. Sweaters. I mean, they offer a range of high quality items at prices within reach. So they have things like 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from only $50, washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, and they also have 14 karat gold jewelry. So you get the best of all worlds. And the best part is all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, premium fabrics and finishes, which obvi we love. And by partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. So sounds good to me. It should sound good to you. Sounds good to Summer Moon. Give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/honey for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That is QUINCE.com/honey to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/honey. And I'm back here to tell you again why you should be shopping on Wayfair for all things home. Furniture and decor, cozy couches, side tables, artwork, rugs, etc. I have all of the above in my house, whether it's in the bathroom, in the studio, the entryway when you walk in. I've got a throw rug, mirrors, swivel chairs, all of the things. Even my bed upstairs is from Wayfair. They have something for every home, everyone, at every price. Wayfair has such a huge selection that it really makes it easy to find exactly what's right for you, or in my case, exactly what you didn't know you needed, and now you have because Wayfair suggested it to you, and you're like, you know what? Actually, I do need that vase on my floor, and now I have it. Literally every room of my house, there's something from Wayfair. And recently, they just had a crazy good deal. They have them all the time, especially around holidays. I got my outdoor patio furniture extremely discounted. It's all put together now. And I'm like, you know what? I think I need to buy a little more. So if you're like me, you're going to like Wayfair. But literally, there's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. It's free and easy delivery. Plus, they'll even help you set it up if that is what you need. Head over to wayfair.com and find something that's just your style today. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. All right. And we're back. So one thing that I read recently was about the temperature that you sleep in affecting your health. Do you keep your room cold or warm at night?
Oh, cold. I like it super cold because I like to be in a big, comfy, comforter so I can just snuggle up. And then, yeah.
So there was a National Institute of Health study which found that sleeping in a cold room set below 66 degrees Fahrenheit or lower, can have surprising health benefits.
Okay.
And I never sleep in a room below 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm like, I don't want my husband, thankfully he doesn't listen to the podcast all the time. I don't want him to hear this because he always wants the AC cranked. Like I gave it to him in Puerto Rico. That room was fucking freezing the whole time we were there. So when he wasn't in the room, I would just open the door and just hang on the patio, like the balcony, because it's so cold.
Wait, so you like a balmy room?
I like it around like 69 is the coldest, but like 69 to 71, I'm not freezing.
Okay.
I don't like if I get up in the middle of the night and I have to pee, that it's like cold. I already have the hard floors and marble floors in my bathroom. It's cold.
But do you sleep with just like a very light like sheet, or do you like
No, I've got a comforter.
Okay.
And Brock is a hot box. So whenever
Okay.
I am cold, I just cuddle up next to him. But then sometimes he's like, okay, I'm hot.
Yeah.
Because he's always hot.
What about when you're drinking though? I mean, don't you like it cold when you're like, I don't know, it's just like I emit so much heat after I've been a night of drinking.
I don't know. I mean, I guess sometimes it is refreshing to have a cold room and to get under the covers.
Especially in a hotel. There's something about like coming back from like being outside and just it just feels cleaner. I don't know why.
I do know too, when we had summer and we talked to a sleep expert, she had said that optimal sleeping temperature, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was always below 72, if not below 70. So, I mean, in this house that I'm in now, that's just going to crank up my bill this summer in the valley, you know?
I mean, yeah, but
when you sleep in a hot room, apparently there's less melatonin production. Your body struggles to regulate sleep cycles. You have more night sweats, obviously, which makes you wake up more often, and higher stress hormones. So sleeping in hot weather raises your cortisol, and that makes you wake up feeling anxious and exhausted, which I'm like, okay.
I just wonder how that is for people who live, though, in temperatures where that is like the norm, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, does it affect them the same because they're used to it, or is it kind of the opposite for them? I don't know.
And I never sleep with the heater on, but I will turn the heater on first thing in the morning for summer because it's cold.
Well, and also I've noticed in California, and I think it's just the way the houses are made, because on the East Coast, there's so much insulation, all of that.
Right.
Like, it will be a summer day and I could still be freezing in my house just because like maybe I didn't get any sun directly. It's just thinner walls.
Yeah.
And so like it's normal to kind of turn the heat on in the morning so you can kind of balance it out. And I get that.
Yeah. But here, when I read this, I'm like, okay, might be convinced to rack up my AC bill because 66 though, that's just so cold. But when you sleep at 66 or lower, faster sleep, so your body temperature naturally drops at night, and a cold room helps that process. Awesome. It boosts fat burning.
Yes.
Cooler temps increase brown fat, which burns calories while you sleep. Stronger immune system. Cold temperatures reduce inflammation and improve overall health.
I love that.
I do think I have a strong immune system, but my kid, hers is still developing. So maybe sleeping with it a little colder will help her, especially during flu season.
Yeah, I think I just saw something. I don't remember what country it was, if it was like Scandinavia or something. They like put their babies outside in the snow.
I saw that. No, I heard that. And it's like a real thing.
Yeah, to build their immune system. So there's got to be a thing to that.
No, seriously.
Have you ever done that cryotherapy?
I have.
So how did that, because I'm like curious, like did you feel like it burned fat? Like I wanted to try that.
See, that's the thing actually. I don't know why, now that I'm saying this and you just mentioned that, why I have an issue sleeping in cold when I cold plunge regularly.
That's what I thought.
I've done cryo.
Yeah.
I enjoy that feeling.
So let's give it a try. Let's crank up that AC bill.
Okay. Also, it's good for better mood and mental clarity, which I think we could all use some of that. Cold sleep boosts dopamine and serotonin, making you feel happier and more focused.
I say do it. I did that billionaires challenge, whatever, where they're like, wake up at 5 a.m. and take a cold shower and I was like, first of all, billionaires are doing this because they have too much time on their hands. I don't want to take a cold shower every day, but I did it for like a week or so. And like, I get some of the things. I'll keep some of the things, but I would do more cold plunges and stuff like that. Like I like to go to those spas where you go in and out and do the things. Yeah.
We do that in the winter. Our pool gets so cold that we will just turn the cold plunge off for a few months and use the pool. So the other night before we left, Brock would go in the sauna, then go in the pool, and then just go back and forth and do the hot cold therapy that way.
I love that.
But I love to jump in the pool after when we're in the sauna, and then we just go in, and I swear that does help sleep. So
wait, has he ever done the polar bear challenge, like the polar bear plunge out on the East Coast? Like,
no.
I feel like he would like to do that.
I think he would like to
you
do
should
that too.
Add that to your bucket list.
Yeah. One thing with the cold plunge is whenever we have someone new either go in the pool or the plunge, it's one thing where there is still a very small bit of competitive nature left in me after years of reality TV taking my confidence and everything away from me. But whenever we have someone new, I'm like, oh, I'll show you up. Like, I'll go in the cold plunge. Let's see how long we can go. And they're like, how are you so calm? I'm like, just do it. Just do it. But like with an audience, I can stay in longer.
Okay.
So I guess I'm going to be sleeping in cold weather now because if I can do a cold plunge and cryo and all of that, but you do, like the benefits, you feel really good after.
Okay.
So.
Well, Brock is going to love it.
I know. I hate when he's right, you know, when he tells me about the benefits of sleeping with it cold. And then I see Summer and she kicks the blanket off constantly. So then I'm covering her up and then I can't sleep well knowing that my kid's probably cold if she doesn't have a blanket on. So that's the issue. I'm like,
just building her immune.
That's true. I mean, they put the babies outside.
Exactly.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
So crazy. Okay, so there was a survey a while back that polled women about their least preferred first date spots, and it had divided the internet quite a bit.
Okay.
So we never got into it here on the podcast, but I did have some thoughts and I figured you might as well. I'm going to go through the list of 28 places, and if you want to chime in if you agree or disagree.
Okay.
Also, I want to point out that the first one is chain restaurants.
Okay.
Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, and Red Lobster. I would not be mad if when I was single, anyone took me on a first date to Cheesecake Factory, Chili's, or Olive Garden. I would not be mad at it.
Oh, see, I'm a Red Lobster girl. Like
I'm not big on seafood.
Oh God, see, cracking Mondays. Like, take me. I'm yours.
In the short amount of time when Nima and I did date, we went on like so many fancy dates that I was like, the next one we're going to Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, really?
And he was like, hell no, will I be caught dead in a Cheesecake Factory? And I took him to the nice one in Marina that was like on the water.
Okay.
But he fucking hated it.
What did he order?
Honestly, I don't even remember. But
he was
I'm
like, get me out of here.
It's not bad. I love a chain restaurant. Okay, what about the movies?
I think it's fine, but like not for a first date because you don't get
Can't
to talk.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Your house.
Not for a first date, no, because you might kill me.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Too many true crime things end that way. My sister told me one that when I was living in Marina in our condo, our garage had a crawl space under. And she told me that she had watched this true crime story, whatever, and the killer was in the garage. And so after she told me that, every time I came home, I'm like, no, we got to make sure we lock the door into the house because what if someone did sneak in or they're living in my fucking crawl space? And I was so paranoid about someone being in my garage.
Yeah, no, I would be because people do. There are people I think who are living in like crawl spaces and like weird things. Yeah, no.
There's like a whole thing in Vegas, like the tunnel people.
Oh my God.
It's like a whole underground community.
Oh my God. That's creepy.
No, I've heard about it. Anyway. Any fast food chain?
I don't know if I want to go to fast food on a first date. I'm trying to think like,
maybe if it was a late night, like you went out and you like went to a bar or something, you're like, let's get Taco Bell on the way home.
Okay, you know where it would be acceptable? I think that in California they have like the very first McDonald's or something like the very first Taco Bell. And it's like historic. Yeah, and it's like if it was something that has a history and I'd be like, okay, this is kind of cool, then I would go.
That would be cool. Buffalo Wild Wings or Wingstop?
You know, I did not go to Buffalo Wild Wings for years. And okay, basically I was with my boyfriend. It was Cinco de Mayo. It was also that horse race, whatever happens on that horse race on Cinco de Mayo. And it was a boxing match. We were in Orlando. I was there for like work. And we went to a Buffalo Wild Wings and we ended up drinking there for hours and hours. And then we realized we didn't pay the bill. Like we basically just walked out because it got so crowded. We left. And then I was like, oh my God. And then I ran and I was so scared for years that my face would be like on a Buffalo Wild Wings and I'd be arrested for stealing. And I was just like, I can't. And so I just haven't gone back to Buffalo Wild Wings since.
So no, do not take Kiki to B-Dub. What about a buffet?
No, it's just too much disease, like, or potential people coughing. I can't.
Yeah. IHOP, Denny's, or a Waffle House?
You know, I love a Waffle House, but they're only good. They don't even they're not even on the West Coast.
I know.
So like if I'm in Georgia and I will go to a Waffle House.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Otherwise, I don't know.
What about the gym?
No.
Fuck that if you're making me work out on a first date.
No.
Hell no. Church.
No.
Starbucks or a coffee date?
Coffee date is fine.
I think that's acceptable, right?
Yeah.
Ice cream dates.
I do love ice cream, but it feels messy. And I mean, I love a cone, and it just feels the potential for me to look slovenly is too high.
A family function.
No, you're not meeting my family on the first date.
Yeah, unless you're Jesse and Lexi on Summer House.
Exactly.
Where do we know what the current status is with them?
I can't imagine they're even talking.
Right?
I mean, I would love to see if they're even following each other. There's just no way.
We got to see. Movie night, like a Netflix and chill.
Again, you can't come to my house.
No.
You're going to murder me.
I agree. Somewhere that requires a long drive.
Oh, God, no, you're definitely going to murder me. I feel like all the girls that are like, are you going to murder me? What's the potential for you to murder me? How will you murder me? Yeah.
Like, we're going to go to Joshua Tree. Like,
no, we're not.
Bowling.
Because bowling, I don't like bowling. I'll do like one round and then I get tired. But then it's like I want to also eat chicken tenders and I'm sticking my fingers in these holes and then I'm eating. It's just too much.
And nightclubs.
Only if you have like a booth somewhere and we can just chill and have bottle service, maybe. But like I'm not going to just be like in a club, just like, I don't want to wear heels and do all that.
Hookah bar.
I get freaked out because I do love hookah bars, but then you hear those headlines where all of a sudden everyone got herpes and like I'm like,
what?
Like it gets passed around and you're like, I thought we had our different tips. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't think it happens often. I know, right? But I'm like, I don't know.
I kind of went on an unofficial first date at a hookah bar actually when I lived in Vegas with a few of the Magic Mikes.
Oh.
Yeah. It was like after the show and they're like, you want to hang out? And I was like, I mean, with which one of you? All of you? Sure. Where are we going?
I love it.
Went to a hookah bar. One of them came back with me one night and then the next night, not the next night, but the next time, one of the others.
It was a magical night.
It was a magical Mike night. What about a bar just for drinks?
I love a dive bar.
I do too. Sports events.
I would do a sporting event. I love hockey the most. So I would probably do that. I love tennis. I would do that.
Yeah.
I'd even do a basketball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love a basketball game.
Yeah.
Did you know that Brock first slid in my DMs by asking me to a football game?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was the football game?
So we met the night before at an after party, but then didn't exchange numbers, info, anything. The next day, I saw in my DMs a message from him asking if I wanted to go to a Rams game.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, all you needed to do was look at my Instagram and see I was just at a football game in my most recent post. But I was like, I like that you led with football, not just like, I want to take you out for drinks next time I'm in LA. And I was like, look, if it's an away game for the Chargers, then I'm down. And we ended up actually going to a Rams game that season.
I love it.
Here we are.
I love it.
So what should have been on this list? Like, what is your idea of a bad first date? Because we said gym, but like, what about like a hiking date?
Yeah, I'm not much of a hiker, so I feel like that would, again, I'm just going to look sweaty. I'm going to look crazy. I'm like, until I'm like at hiker elite status, I'm not going to hike with you. I think anything that involves probably like being around too many of your friends or my friends, I think it's just going to be awkward. And I'm not going to go to your house. You're not going to come to my house. I think to me, I love a dive bar. Again,
I do too.
Just like chill, especially if it's daytime, like we can hang out. They have maybe even outside. Have like a cider, chill, talk about dumb shit.
No, I
love that.
What do you think about a theme park?
So this actually goes back to what we were talking about where it was like, I didn't ride scooters for years. So I used to love roller coasters. But then like when I put on a bunch of weight, I started freaking out about like, what if I got to the front of the line and they said I was too fat for the ride? Like I freak out about stuff like that. So it's like in theory, I would love to go, but I have to get over my own like mental of like that because I actually do love roller coasters and I love people who love roller coasters, but I haven't been on one in years.
Yeah.
So it might be fun, but also there's like, it could also go really wrong because there's a lot happening at theme parks.
I talk about a first date that I went on at Disneyland in my book.
Oh God. With who?
You have to read the book.
All right, I have to read the book.
Also, I feel like something that's requiring you to like strip down, like swimming, a massage, or like a spa day sounds nice in theory, but also like you don't get to see all of this on a first date.
No, that's too much.
No. Well, to wrap up this week's shenanigans, we've got to give a Jack's hole out.
Who's it going to?
I mean, honestly, I'm going to give it to Zach for his stupid post where he didn't have information. Did you ask Ariana and Katie why they unfollowed him? Do you know if it was exactly then or is that just when someone checked? Maybe everyone unfollowed him a month prior. It was just the day that people started looking. So for him to post that without context of why all of us unfollowed him. That was the headline. And, I point out that there were other friends who were still following him. So the Jaxel is Zach.
Do you think he'll DM you back?
No, I don't. He'll probably text me something bitchy, but whatever. It's like, it's so frustrating, these people. But thank you for joining me this week. Always a good time with you. For more of Kiki's hot takes, make sure you tune into SiriusXM's Reality Check at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific every Monday and Thursday. And also follow along at the Talk of Shame on Instagram. And if you haven't already pre-ordered my book, My Good Side, what are you waiting for? We got to get those pre-orders in. And there are a limited number of signed copies available now on mygoodsidebook.com. You can get them there. And I'll see you all back here next week with the rest of these hot topics that we didn't get into.
Searching for this all my life.